8-1-0-0 to the tune of 6-2. The Tigers end up a little bit ahead of the Guardians now in the standings. It's just a terrible, terrible division.
Did you see that guy that took one in the funky bunch?
I did see that. He got tagged out at second. And the dude caught the ball and tagged him in his nuts.
Yeah. I think the ball bounced off of him first, and then the guy caught it, and then so he got like a double shot to the nuts.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, not great.
That's the kind of game. Jose Ramirez cannot do it all by himself. If you've watched Guardians games recently, that's the conclusion you'll no doubt come to. But 6-2 was the final last night. They'll do it all over again tonight. Right around the corner at Progressive Field. Guardians against the Detroit Tigers. That is going to be a 6:10 first pitch. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they'll have the Anaheim Angels in town before they hit the road next week to play the White Sox in Chicago. And, Guardians, listen, man, there's still a lot of baseball to be played. What is there to say? It's too early to be making predictions. People love to predict. Yeah. Love to predict. If you want to call us on the iHeartRadio app, you can leave messages there for us.
Oh, this is Alex Jones. I just need you to know that Friday, you're absolutely wrong. You're talking about that phone call that happened from Frank Stallone. So Frank Stallone and I are actually great friends, okay? And that's just why I wanted him to come on the show and explain to everybody that he wasn't trying to be mean, all right? We're great friends. I invite him to my birthday parties. He doesn't show up, but it's just because he's busy, Alan. It's not because we're not friends. And Tucker Carlson is my friend, too.
That's so much yelling. So much yelling over there.
Loud noises!
Jesus Christ. Well, Alex Jones. No, a guy called him, we were talking on Friday, a guy called him and used Tucker Carlson AI to prank him. And then he was like, I'm going to drop the call on Monday, but it was a whole bunch of nothing. And because it's Alex Jones on the phone going, yeah, is this really you? I mean, with AI. I mean, he bullseyed the guy. He's like, yeah, with AI, they can do everything. The world is beginning to kind of move a little bit closer, at least technologically, to like where Alex Jones's brain is. This guy has been saying for a while, we're going to have chips in our heads and we're going to, artificial intelligence is going to take over the world.
Have either of you...
At least on that front, he might be a little closer to reality than he's ever been before. What?
Have either of you watched AI porn yet, or no?
No, I haven't.
No. No. I can't even make it through their pizza and beer commercial without being creeped out.
Yeah, if
definitely
they
don't want to watch AI porn.
Dude,
no.
If they haven't figured out hands yet, that's going to be a huge problem in pornography.
Well, especially for vaginas, and those are intricate.
Well, everybody's got their own little freak. That might not be a problem, but the hands are definitely going to look different.
I think they use like real bodies. They just put like other faces on the.
Well, that's a different thing. That's a deep fake.
Oh, okay. I'm confusing.
I thought you meant like AI generated pornography.
But I don't watch that either because it's really, it's just not okay to do that to people.
But I'm saying, so a deep fake is different than AI?
Deep fake is when they put another person's face. Yeah, deep fake is kind of stage one of this whole thing. AI is being completely generated by somebody who's, as I understand it, somebody who is instructing something like Midjourney or a graphics generator to say, hey, make me a pizza commercial with this and this and this and this and this. Maybe they'll write him some lines and then whatever. So it completely out of whole cloth creates. I follow a lot of like AI generated art on Instagram just because a lot of it's because I'm a sci-fi and horror nerd kind of, and so I like that stuff, what these things have come up with. But deepfake porn is like when they're taking Jennifer Aniston's face and putting it on Nicole Aniston's body, and making her do things. And then these actresses, because years ago, these actresses, a lot of them had their actual nudes dropped in the fappening. Remember the fappening?
Oh, yeah.
How could I forget?
This is what... This is when...
Poundcake's favorite day.
There was the male fappening.
Well, for hetero men, yes. It was all female celebrities.
The fappening.
Years ago, somebody hacked into, people's phones or whatever, and they got celebrities' nudes. It was like Kat Dennings, who has a glorious rack, and all these actresses who were just put out there. So those were their own photos that had been hacked and posted online. But deepfake is where they're taking somebody, and deepfake is when the whole thing's going to get really, really messy. really messy. Because the old axiom about the camera doesn't lie, that's going away. A picture can speak 1,000 words or whatever. I mean, I guess, but you're not going to like what those words are. It's, again, the belief that all of this is inevitable is nonsense. It has to be these companies that put this stuff together. They have they have investors to answer to, right? So nobody's going to voluntarily put the brakes on it because their rationale is, well, if we don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. But that's not necessarily true either. It's not necessarily a zero-sum game. But it's going to make everything really, really, really confusing. You think it's hard to tell reality from fiction now. You wait till all that stuff gets going.
I guess tattoos are probably the best bet. The tattoos that you can hide underneath your shirt, because that's like the only proof that...
You brush those out.
What do you mean you brush those out?
Well, how are tattoos proof?
I'm saying, like, if someone makes a deep fake of you on a fake body, you could prove, like, oh, well, that's not me. I have a tattoo, right here that no one knew about. And, I don't know. It's just like you can validate that that's not your real body.
I guess, but I mean, the lengths that you'd have to go.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, if you needed that.
You could tell your family that, but.
People can make an OnlyFans with deep fakes of you. That's wild.
Yeah. And they get all the money.
That's so wild, dude. That's wild. What a crazy time to be alive.
Crazy time to be alive. But, yeah, that's putting it mildly. Robert De Niro is a dad for the 7th time. He is 79 years old.
Ugh, that's some old sperm.
They say the fresher the mayo, the better the sandwich. But he still, De Niro, God bless him, he still likes leaving it in.
Yep. Perez Bilton's got some info on that later.
Hey, Perez Bilton later on.
Yeah, some inside sources.
From Perez Bilton?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, when did this happen?
Well, I mean, that's just how
Inside sources.
Inside sources? Is that a new thing? Where have I been? Robert De Niro is 79 years old. I'm sorry. First of all, I didn't know he had 6 kids already. I mean, I don't get my subscription to the Robert De Niro Offspring monthly newsletter.
6 kids, 2
expired
ex-wives.
some time ago. Yes.
This new kids with a new girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So good for him.
He was talking to Entertainment Tonight Canada, and the reporter just happened to bring up his 6 kids. And he said, as an aside, 7 actually, I just had a baby. So, good for him. He's out there doing bad grandpa movies, and he's our buddy Sebastian Maniscalco. He's got a movie coming out about him and his dad, and De Niro plays his dad. It's called About My Father. But he's been divorced a couple of times. He was married for a long time to his last wife, and I think they had kind of an acrimonious split, this woman named Grace Hightower. And they had been together for a long, long time. And they split up. Tiffany Chen is the new girlfriend. And they've had a kid. So, Robert De Niro, would you call him the greatest generation's Nick Cannon? I don't know.
I feel like 7's not that much for somebody his age.
That's not for me to decide.
Because there's, I mean,
seven's not a lot for
baby mamas is more the thing, but I mean,
but 7's not a lot for age 79. It's but having a 7th baby at 79 is a big deal.
Yeah, but I think that puts him more in the who's it, Mick Jagger that just had a baby like a couple years ago,
something like that.
Yeah, so I think that more that camp than the Nick Cannon camp where he's got 13 kids or whatever, and he's a little over 40.
Yeah, it'd be weird to be children of those celebrities where, like, you're 50 and you have a new sibling, right? Like you have a sibling that's like younger than your grandchildren, or
right.
However that works.
He has grandchildren that have an uncle or aunt that is
a baby. I hope it's too bad that there's a writer's strike on, because baby uncle would be an amazing. I can hear Alec Baldwin voicing it in my head. Baby uncle. New from Pixar.
I don't know, but Baby Uncle sounds more like a Seth Rogen property to me.
Yeah, but there'd be too much of that goddamn laughing.
No, that's what the kids like. That's what the kids
Seth
want.
Rogen. He was Donkey Kong in the Mario Brothers movie. And they got to put that dumb, fake Seth Rogen laugh in there all the time. So you know it's him. I like Seth Rogen a lot, but that dumb Eddie Murphy laugh. Okay, I get it. Come on. But listen, what do you want? So congratulations to, I guess, Robert De Niro. This is what happens when you get a young girlfriend. That is the deal with the devil that you make, is you get a young girlfriend, you get to march her around on your arm, you get some arm candy, but she goes, I want a kid. And he goes, okay. I mean, De Niro, I think, was one of these guys who lost money with Bernie Madoff. He played him in the movie for HBO.
Yeah.
But didn't Robert De Niro lose money with Madoff? Or he lost some years ago. Maybe it was in the divorce. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But I think in that Grace Hightower divorce, he lost a lot of money, which is precisely why you see De Niro now in every movie, because he doesn't turn anything down. It would be nice to be in your golden years as an actor to go, I really get to pick and choose my roles. I get a stack of scripts, because even though I'm 79, I'm still Robert De Niro. I get a stack of scripts. I get to go through them, and I go, yes, no. But he's in Nicolas Cage territory, even though he's kind of coming out of that now. But, you know, you lose a bunch of money. You call your agent. Okay, everything that comes across my desk, just tell him yes. Say yes. What if they can't make your quote? Don't worry about it. I'm 79. I ain't making $15 million a movie anymore. Nobody is. So, you know, I'll just do it. Trouble with Grandpa? Yes. A bad Grandpa? Yes. Sebastian's dad? Yes. I'll do it all. I don't care what you want to put me in. I have a baby, for Christ's sake. I'm not doing Goodfellas Part 2. I got to do whatever they send to me. I got to do... Oh, God, I watched a movie with him and Pacino the other night. They're trying to recapture that Heat, lightning in a bottle, you know, from 30 years ago. There was a movie called Righteous Kill.
Yeah, I remember that
Oh,
one. That came about, 15 years ago or so?
Is it that old?
Yeah, it's been out a while.
I had to rewatch King of New York with Christopher Walken just to get the taste out of my mouth. I mean, you can only do so many goddamn analyze this.
Yeah, right.
He was in Joker, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he got teats up in Joker.
We know how these are accurate, but $500 million is what it says his net worth is. So he's probably doing just fine.
I don't think that's true. I think a couple of years ago, he was very public about the fact that I need money. Maybe that was before. I mean, nobody walking around with $500 million. There's no way that's true for Robert De Niro.
It says it on the internet.
Oh, well, okay.
It says the same place where it says you're a millionaire, so it's got to be true.
Yeah, right. I'm nowhere near a millionaire. Let's just extrapolate that out from. So he's got a bunch of. He's going back to the mafia well. He's doing a movie called Wise Guys where he plays two people in the 50s. Are they going to jet black his hair out again like they did in The Irishman? I don't know.
Man, I hate that.
He's kicking a guy's ass. He's supposed to be 27 years old, and he's very clearly an old guy with jet black hair. So he's got a bunch of movies coming out. And like top-line movies, not necessarily The War with Grandpa, but he did a movie called The Comedian that I liked and nobody saw. But I thought it was real good.
I never saw that one either. I remember he worked with Jim Norton on that.
Yeah.
Like he followed Jim around to clubs in New York City. And that was, Jim Norton's a huge fan of him, so that was a cool experience for him. It says Robert De Niro lost $88 million.
In his divorce?
No, from
Bernie Madoff?
Some painting scam.
Oh, God. There you go. So even if you're Robert De Niro, you don't have $88 million to lose. I guarantee you don't. And you sure don't. Even if you did, you don't want to. And again, King of Comedy is still one of my favorite movies. I mean, it's 40 years old, but still one of my favorite movies of all time. but he's got a new kid now. Alan, do you think older children of people like De Niro get upset when there's a new baby? Now they have to split their inheritance with one more.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, and you might even be prone to focusing more on the kid because you're not going to grow up. The kid's not going to grow up with you around.
Right.
Yeah.
He's 79. I mean, the kid will be lucky to have his dad when he's in high school. Whereas your other kids, they're grown. They have their own lives. They've got their own finances. They've got.
Yep. They'd probably leave the kid more in like a trust or something because he's not going to be around. Which I'd be okay with. That's what I got. It's just like child support. I got child support. You know? Didn't have my dad around. So, yeah, leave me a cool, a year for every, or $1 million for every year that you'll miss of my life. So leave me a good, $50 million.
Alan, wait until the deep fake of you eating a whole bagel with butter on it. Oh, my God. Can you imagine
that?
And
a banana with a peel.
Everybody will know that's fake. They'll go, this guy hasn't turned over a new leaf.
He would never.
No.
He would never do
not
that.
Not this guy. Although, I did have a banana this morning, and I left the peel on.
See, this is what's going to sow discourse. We're not going to know what's real and what's not because now that you're
I'm changing
your
it up.
ways. Yeah.
I'm changing it up.
I'm going to be like, when my sex tape leaks, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a deep fake, guys. Don't pay no attention to that. I can't believe someone would release a deep fake of me.
Oh,
doing
no.
all that stuff.
The fake isn't the only thing that's deep.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. I can't believe he got that all in there.
I left the peel on because I knew I was going to be driving and I didn't want to get my steering wheel all gooey. Whatever's, you touch a banana. Normally I would peel the entire banana, and I'm roundly mocked for this, but that's fine. We all have our own things. I'm roundly mocked for the fact that I will eat a banana by peeling it and then eating it. Doesn't take me long to eat. I practically deep throat the whole thing. You'd like a pound cake. I'll send you some video. But this morning I left the peel on, and I thought, let's see what everybody's talking about. Now, I had to put my own spin on it, so I did it like the apes do, where you peel it down to the stem, right? The stem is nature's handle. So I go, all right, I'll do it that way. And it was okay. I don't know if it's going to become my default way of eating a banana. I can't promise you that. So if you've got a scorecard at home, don't mark it just yet. But it was all right. It's okay. I don't see what all the hype is about.
Just for the very reason you did it, to keep your hands from getting sticky.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah. But again, sometimes you want your hands sticky. You never know what the day's going to bring. You want to be prepared.
I don't need my hands sticky from a banana. There's other ways.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I know lots of other ways to get my hands nice and sticky.
Well, Robert
but even
De Niro
then, I
did it.
don't really want my hands sticky ever. I hate feeling sticky. I think sticky is my number 2 of things that I don't want to feel. Like if my hands feel sticky, can't stand that. But number 1 is like gritty, like dirt,
like sand in your hand.
Sand.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I can't do sand.
You don't like sand.
That's why I don't like to go to the beach. I don't like the sand.
Boy, what is this resistance to sand that everybody has? I don't like sand. Sand in your toes is great. You walk around on the beach. It's warm.
It's great when you're there.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you're not there and it's following you around and it's never leaving you alone.
You brush your feet
get into
off.
Your car, it's never all gone. And even then, like, I'm good for like 10 minutes on the actual beach.
Oh, yeah?
And then I'm like, let's go somewhere. Grass is way better than sand to sit on.
Well, to sit on maybe, but like to walk around on the beach, that's nice. It's warm.
For 10 minutes.
There's water there.
But sometimes it's not always that warm either.
Grass you could be
sometimes
walking
it can
on.
be really cold, and sometimes it's so hot that you're burning your feet, and that's miserable.
Yeah. But grass, you never know it.
Sucks.
You could be you could step in a poo. There could be worms.
Well, yes,
you don't know what the hell's in. You're not gonna. It's not gonna be a
step in glass in sand. Technically, you're stepping in glass.
Yeah, but it's not going to cut my feet. I'm not going to have to hose my feet off.
Well, that's also why I'm not a barefoot walker.
Stepped in a turd. You're walking on the beach in shoes.
Not shoes, but usually I'll wear slides or flip-flops.
Yeah, but then your
something.
sand gets all in your slides.
Yeah, and
no wonder you got a problem with sand.
But again, I mean, I'll usually carry them, but I'm just not. I don't like sand. It's not great, especially if you're like putting down a blanket and hanging out, and then some person walks by and all the sand like blows all over you. Beaches are garbage. Beaches are garbage.
In Ohio, they are. Yep.
Everywhere.
That's why people are walking around picking up the trash.
All of them stink.
I've got to take a break. If you want to send a text for anything, 35